Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I know I'm late making this video because this whole situation happened a few days ago, and many info has come out in the following days, but I felt like it would just make sense to also give my opinion. I'm not on heejin's side, and I'm not on hybe's side either. I think both heejin and hybe are problematic in their own ways, so I'm not gonna be blindly defend either one or the other. I'm just gonna listen to what Newjeans had to say, leaving everything else aside. Because that was the point of the live. The girls wanted to communicate with us about some specific things, and that's all I'm gonna be commenting on. I won't go into detail about everything, but I'll just share my opinion on the main points the girls raised. So here we go. First up, I wanna talk about the live itself. According to the girls, it was all prepared without telling anyone at the company, and it was something spontaneous that they did to address the issues that arose. Now, there have been two different narratives circulating. Some people genuinely believe the girls did everything themselves without telling anybody, while others believe it was heejin that told them to do it, yet again utilizing the girls to gain some pity and to gain favor. In all honesty, I don't know what to think. A part of me believes the girls really wanted to get their side of their story out, and they decided to go live because they really wanted to, but another part of me thinks it's definitely possible that heejin told them to do it, and if that's the case, it would be extremely disgusting to have used them once again. But in conclusion, there's no way for us to know what actually happened, so all I can say is that it must have taken a lot of courage to speak up like this and potentially destroy your whole career. I ultimately think it was reckless and it was not a good move, but if it was the girls that really made this decision, it means they really wanted to be heard, and so I'm willing to listen. The girls have expressed very clearly how they do not consider heejin just a CEO and a producer, but rather as someone who has shaped Newjeans and made them who they are. The girls expressed how heejin's way of working perfectly reflected the concept and the music they themselves wanted to make. This is the reason the members consider heejin integral to Newjeans' identity, because they feel that she is someone who shares the same vision as them, and they all believe she is irreplaceable. On one hand, I can understand where they are coming from. It's not that common to find somebody who seems to share the same ideas as you and who seems to perfectly capture what you want to express. It is in fact very common to work with people who have a different vision, and because they are above you, you can't complain and just have to follow their decisions. So I understand why they value her creative direction so much, but on the other hand, I feel like it's terrible that such young girls think they cannot go forward unless it is with her. They seem to think Newjeans as a group is nothing without her. And this only goes to show how dependent they are on her, which is not a positive thing because when you work, you should keep in mind that one day you might have to work with another boss, another CEO. Let's pretend you are working under a certain company with a certain boss, and you think they are the best boss in the world because they seem to understand you thoroughly. But let's say one day that boss gets fired or they just move to another company and a new boss comes. At that point you should know you're worthy enough of continuing your job even without them. You're not gonna quit your job just because the boss changed. But the Newjeans girls seem to think that they can't exist without heejin, which is extremely sad, and it really goes to show how much that woman has made them feel like they would be nothing without her. According to what the girls said, they found out that their CEO heejin had been dismissed through the news. Now, I totally understand why heejin was dismissed, and we were all expecting this to happen sooner or later, even the members, but still, I can understand how shocked they must have felt hearing this from the news. As much as I think heejin's dismissal was the right thing, I find it very unprofessional to dismiss her without even telling Newjeans about it. I feel like hybe should have just held a meeting with Newjeans, heejin and the new CEO so that everybody could properly talk about the situation and find closure. They said that the lack of communication from the company made them feel like they were not being respected, and as much as I've always wanted heejin gone, I do not think it was right to keep everything a secret from the girls. This just goes to show how little these artists actually know about what really goes on. This just goes to show they have little to no say in anything because they are not told anything, which makes me feel even more sorry for them. The next point that the girls raise is in regards to trainee videos and medical records of the girls being leaked without their consent. For those of you who might not know, the videos that were leaked were filmed when Newjeans were still trainees under Source Music, and they were all minors. The videos show them dancing to inappropriate choreos while wearing inappropriate outfits. I feel like this was simply unacceptable, and I honestly feel sick to my stomach every time I see K-pop stans minimizing this issue. because you all are the same people that are very vocal about wanting to protect minors from sexualization, but then pretend like it isn't a problem when it comes to Newjeans just because you dislike them. I personally don't care what side you are on. I feel like we should all be against the sexualization of minors and the leaking of personal info. Mind you that Hybe is the same company that is able to keep dating rumors about all their artists private. If they are able to keep this kind of information from spreading, I find it very hard to believe they couldn't have prevented Newjeans trainee videos and medical records from circulating. I personally think there's no excuse for this, and it's natural for the girls to worry about their privacy and about more of their personal info being leaked in the future. So in regards to this specific matter, I am 100% on Newjeans' side and there is absolutely no excuse for the way Hybe has handled this. Mind you, these are the same girls that you all have been screaming about when it came to idols being too young and having to be protected against sexualization. These are the same girls who sang Cookie, a song with inappropriate lyrics that you all have always complained about, and rightfully so. But where's that energy now that their personal informations are being spread against their consent? Where is the "we must protect minors" mentality you always preach about? The girls also said how they raised these concerns to Hybe, but matter-of-factly, these videos are still circulating and the company didn't really do anything to take them down, so the members are now wondering who they can rely on. And even if I think that heejin is far from being a good person, and she's far from being reliable, Hybe doesn't seem to be any better, which just makes me feel so sorry for the girls. Then in the live, Hanni discussed a situation that personally happened to her when she was at the 4th floor of the company, which is an area where different groups get their hair and makeup done. She talked about how a group passed her by, and they greeted each other normally, but then, when the group came by again with their manager, the manager told the group to ignore Hanni straight to her face. I know that in the following days Hybe came out and name-dropped Alit, which led both Hanni and Alit to receive hate for something they weren't responsible of, but the point is not which manager it was. The point is that even if I can understand why groups and managers are being told to kind of avoid Newjeans amidst the drama, I still don't think it's professional to make these kinds of comments in front of the artists themselves, because this will just create even more hostility in the workplace, which is something that should be avoided. These young artists are all just victims in this situation, and they have little to no say in what the adults decide. I think they were all just trying to be nice to each other, or at least civil. Just like you are civil with a classmate or a colleague even if maybe you don't necessarily like them that much. And seeing managers actively making things awkward in front of these poor young idols just feels unnecessarily evil. There are better ways to handle such a situation. So once again, this is the proof that adults are just using these idols and punishing them for things they are not guilty of. And even if Alit can have reasons to dislike Newjeans, the fact that they were at least being nice enough to say hi to Hanni should make you understand that nobody wants any more drama. So I can't help but feeling bad for all the artists involved. Later on, Hanni talked about this to the new CEO, who basically told her that since there was no evidence of it happening, she should just let it go. And as sad as it may sound, I can understand why she responded like that. Things like this are pretty hard to confirm. That's also why I don't necessarily believe Hybe when they said they reviewed CCTV footage and found out it didn't happen, because at the end of the day, everybody can just say whatever they want to make it fit their narrative. I don't even know if I 100% believe Hanni. It could have been something she said just to gain sympathy, who knows, but I'm just saying that if it's true, then it's just really sad for everyone involved. The girls then go on to talk about how some of the content that was produced and distributed under Ador's old management has now been infringed. They are referring to the Banhizu channel, a YouTube channel that was used to post videos about Ditto's lore. The channel came to be through an agreement with Ditto's music video director Shin Woo-sok and heejin, but after heejin's dismissal, Hybe and the director did not seem to be able to come to an agreement about the future of the channel and its content. Following the management change, Shin Woo-sok openly talked about how he was forced to delete the content he had worked on. On the other hand, Ador claimed that he was violating artist rights by uploading this content without permission, content that should have been uploaded through the official channel of Hybe and Newjeans, and not through another one. Following this statement, the director responded saying that the making and the distribution of these videos was agreed upon already and he wasn't doing anything illegal. He also hit back at Hybe, claiming that they were only jealous because he had refused to work with any other Hybe group aside from Newjeans. Basically, both parties were accusing the other of lying. As of now, I believe the content that was originally deleted is now up again, All I have to say is that it's impossible to firmly trust either one side or the other. We will never know what exactly was agreed upon behind the scenes and what was not. All I can say is that I understand why this took a toll on Newjeans, who were most likely unaware of the legal dispute between Shin Woo-sok and Adore, and they just saw their content being erased all of a sudden. Ultimately, this just made the girls feel like hybe was working against them by erasing their content. Like I said, we still don't know who's right or wrong, but I can understand why this situation made the girls turn against hybe even more and seek Min Heejin's help, even if she's not at all a good person and a good influence on the girls. I personally think that since Shin Woo-sok has always openly supported Min Heejin and the former Adore management, the new management is simply choosing to no longer work with him since they do not share the same views. I understand why the girls feel sad about no longer being able to work with people they used to work with and they trusted, but I also understand Adore's point of view. From a business perspective, they do not want to work with people that are hostile to the new management. All in all, it's a shitty situation for everyone involved. To sum it up, Newjeans are requesting for hybe to bring back Min Heejin as Adore's CEO, and to have their working environment go back as it was before. They want the legal conflict to be over so that everybody can go back to their activities without having to work in a stressful environment. I understand their wish to work in a good environment without hostility, but this simply cannot happen considering the other requests they are making. Hybe will never restore Heejin's CEO's position. This will never happen. Hybe will never comply to this request, and frankly speaking, who even are Newjeans to be making such request? At the end of the day, they are just one of many hybe artists. Just young girls that have no say in anything, and this demand simply sounds absurd. By making this demand, they have probably sabotaged their career under hybe, because one thing was expressing their disappointment about how some things have been handled, but another is expecting hybe to bring back Min Heejin as a CEO after all the trouble she has caused. What makes me sad is how Newjeans have really convinced themselves they cannot work without her. Maybe it's gonna be hard from an emotional standpoint, because we all know how attached they are to Min Heejin. But they could have still carried on with their dream to be idols and make music. They are requesting for things to go back to normal by September 25th, and I really don't know what the hell they might do when hybe will inevitably ignore their request. I just hope that if they're thinking about filing a lawsuit to terminate their contracts, that they will not decide to go through with it, because they'll most likely never win. I think it's not too late to take a step back and they should do it to save their future. In conclusion, I just feel bad for the girls because it seems like every adult in their lives has failed them. I don't think they are evil, I just think they don't know who to turn to, and the only person they trust, Min Heejin, just happens to be far from a good person. I do not like Min Heejin, and I do not like hybe. Both have done things they shouldn't have done, and they've only used Newjeans and all the other artists involved for their own benefit. I'm happy about Min Heejin's dismissal, but at the same time I understand why this took a toll on Newjeans and it has pushed them to speak up, even if I still think it was a wrong move. In the end, I just wish them well and I hope they will really think it through before making stupid decisions. Anyway, this is all for the video. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.